in life, in all aspects of life, whether you're picking a college, getting married, deciding if you want to have kids, going into the workforce, deciding whether or not you want to work for yourself, we're always making decisions that are scary. And, fear has its place, I guess. And I guess I'm being prompted to speak on this subject because, especially over the last couple of weeks, since we've been launching some new ideas, people will have been reaching out to offer us their support, and I'm learning, or I'm hearing the same words like, "Oh, it's you're very brave, or you put yourself out there, and I really admire that, and I appreciate it." And I just gotten to the point where I don't look at it as if I'm putting myself out there as much as I've just succumbed to the understanding and the realization that I'm a lot happier when I'm doing the things that I'm being compelled to do. Doesn't mean that I'm not afraid to do them. Doesn't mean that I don't have fear. And yeah, you read these, psychologists or coaches where they say, well, it's not really fear, or you want to substitute the word for excitement, use excitement. And yeah, I get excited. Fear is exciting. And if I'm in a meeting or pitching, I'm excited. I'm afraid, I'm scared, but I'm excited. And fear for me is just a great indicator that I'm probably heading in the right direction. Now, the more prepared I am, the less fear there is. Because ultimately, if you put in the work, you believe in what you're doing, you might be afraid of going into that room. You might be fearful of looking ridiculous, but ultimately, if you're prepared and you believe in the product, excitement is super contagious. There is a lack of enthusiasm in the world, in my opinion, today. People put things out there and feel like they're throwing darts at the wall, and they just want to see what sticks. We see this in movies or in music, right? Like, well, this is working. Well, let's stick to that formula. How do we redo this? And it's really challenging to get people to give you fresh ideas because they're afraid. And they're afraid that their fresh idea may not work. And that happens. Trust me, I've had plenty of ideas that haven't turned out the way that I thought they would. But if you listen to some of my other videos, you'll hear me always say that if you get a lesson out of it, then it's not really a failure. Just don't do that again, right? So I'm super grateful that the content I'm putting out there is drawing, support. I'm more excited that what I'm putting out there is prompting people to think. Because they see me doing it, and I'm watching other people do things, right? What I'm doing is it's not super original. It's a lot of the same. I'm just putting my twist. I can only do what Andy does, Andy's way, and nobody else could ever take that away from me. Nobody could ever duplicate this guy. I'm a one and only. I'm an original. We all are. So a lot of things that I'm doing, I find comfort in being able to mimic others, borrow ideas, and see where others have made their mistakes, what their failures were, what their setbacks were, and try to avoid them. Right? The path is clear. I mean, we have something wonderful called the internet. I mean, you put anything into Google or Bing, now with ChatGPT, which I love, you can basically get a roadmap that maybe is not foolproof, but it's certainly a lot better than the roadmap that my father or my parents had. Everything is out there for us, and it's integrated. What a word. Our businesses integrate. We have systems and formulas and apps and websites that integrate with other websites and apps that do other things. It is, I don't like to use the word overwhelming because that to me is like, take something in stride. And if you really take the time to learn it and understand it, I just don't like the word overwhelming. I'll come up with a better reason why I don't like it. It's right up there with the word hate. I don't like to use the word hate. But going back, everything is out there for us. And a lot of the things that I'm doing, I'm not reinventing the wheel. A lot of the things that I'm doing are simply things that, somebody else paved the way, and probably several times over. And I'm just taking what I like, from this person and from that person, and I'm kind of doing my own thing. Like our grandmothers used to do in the kitchen, right? Nobody measured. They just a little bit of this, take a little bit of that, and they're like, how much of that do you know? Like, I don't know. You just throw it in there. And if you leave it in the pot long enough and you stir it enough, you sample a little bit of it. When it starts tasting right, you'll know. And you'll know when it's ready. You can smell when it's ready. And when it's missing something, when you do it enough times and it's missing something, you'll know what it's missing. That's life. We don't go in the kitchen afraid to cook. Maybe my wife gets afraid when I go in the kitchen to cook, but she certainly doesn't get afraid. She's very comfortable and confident in there because, she's done it before. And if something doesn't work out well, it doesn't come out right, it doesn't taste right, it doesn't matter because she knows that she has a husband that's going to tell her this is the best thing I've ever had. Fear. It's a fantastic indicator. It lets you know when something is maybe worth looking at, maybe even worth pursuing, right? And I guess maybe if it scares you, it's worth looking at. And once you start looking at it, if it's worth pursuing, maybe that's when it turns into the excitement. It's whatever sense you can make out of it, let me know in the comments. I always like to hear what other people have to say and how they interpret what I'm saying, because sometimes I speak and my wife and my kid are looking at me going, okay, Dad, sounds good. And I always forget to say at the top of the video, if you're watching this, just give us a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, lordandarmor.com. Thank you for all the support you guys have been giving us. And I'm glad that these videos are reaching you. Feel free to reach out. You know who loves you, baby. Your boy, AMJ. All right. God bless you. Bye.